gosh, we're on Hollywood Boulevard! Hollywood! Oh my gosh! Hey guys, it's Carrie Ann from Everything Mom. This particular trip was organized for my son and I to visit, I think it was LA, Pasadena, Huntington Beach, and San Diego, which is a great trip. It may sound silly. I mean, when you look at the agenda we had, we're going to be surfing for the first time and doing a Segway and doing some hiking and a lot of stuff that both my son and I hadn't done before, which was great. But of all the things planned on this trip, the one item that really had me, nervous was the driving. I think because I was going to be solely responsible on the other side of the country with my son in a car that wasn't mine. I think that's it because it's a rental car. So, I'm the type of person who creates worst case scenarios in my head. It's probably a reason why I love those end of the world movies, that although I think they also fuel into my worst case scenario creations. So I start thinking about what could happen. So I was really apprehensive about doing the driving in mainly the LA area. So much so that I would look at Google Maps and take a look at sort of highway routes to get a sense of like how busy they were, what sort of centers they go through, almost sort of following routes that I would have to drive just so I could feel more comfortable or remind myself that it wasn't going to be that bad. So obviously I survived because I'm back, and I'm here basically to say I think all of us as adults have things that are outside of our comfort zone. And I think as a parent, we're often telling our kids, because I know I do it, that you can't let a fear hold you back from trying something, especially something you've never tried before. You can't let a fear stop you from experiencing new things. You've got to just try it, and you may find out you don't like it, but at least you've tried it, because the opposite side of that is you may find out trying something that you loved it, or it wasn't as bad a scenario as you thought it was. And I find it's always easier to give advice than to follow advice. So I had to remind myself, going with my son, that it was my turn to follow my own advice. And I had said to him, this was something that I was nervous about. This was something was kind of pushing me outside my comfort zone, driving in a car I wasn't familiar with just the two of us in an area I'm not familiar with. I think the one saving grace is having my TomTom GPS, because that really helped. There are many times, whether it was in LA coming from the airport or even in San Diego, we did lots of wrong turns, even following the GPS, but it always got us back on track. And I think that helped ease my discomfort. I kind of went in thinking, with the GPS, I will never get completely lost. It may take me 20 minutes longer to get somewhere, but I'll eventually get somewhere. Even after that first day of driving, I felt more comfortable with it. We had decided last minute, not part of our itinerary, to go up to the Hollywood sign and just sort of found a route to get there. That's really what I wanted to come and say, is that we all have things we're afraid of. If I had let that uncomfortable fear get in the way, I probably wouldn't have done this trip. And there was so much that we did and experienced. I think it's great as a parent, especially the mom, if you travel as a family, sometimes it's easy to let dad take over the role, the leadership role. So I think it's great for my kids to see me as the parent, as the mom, doing things in that role, especially my daughters, but also traveling with my son. And just a reminder that sometimes we've just got to not listen to our inner voice, you know, take a deep breath, just do what we need to do. And that was, along with driving, it was the same thing that happened with surfing and, you know, going on a boat for whale watching, all sorts of things that happened, which I'll probably talk more about in posts and maybe some video about what we did on our little bit of adventure in California. Maybe I'm the only one that has sort of this city driving fear, but I'm curious what other, you know, fears or incidences that you've encountered that you've pushed to the side and completed anyways and benefited from that experience. I will try to get back vlogging a little more often if I can. I try not to have so much of a gap here. If family travel interests you, you know, or just kind of parenting information in general, hopefully you'll subscribe and I'll try to be back more often. I'll have a little bit of some travel stuff coming up soon. And thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next time.